So on 5-45B, what you're going to do, okay, a couple ways you can think about it, is this right here has to equal 8, basically, because 8 squared is going to equal 64. So you can kind of think about it like this, where x plus 1 could have been an 8, or actually x plus 1 could have been a -8, because that also would end up being a 64. And then when you solve it, you're going to get x is equal to 7, and you're going to get x is equal to -9. Another way to think about it, besides looking at this inside and figuring out what that needs to be, is what you can do is you can take and not multiply this out, but we want to undo that. Okay, the x is being added by a 1, but it's also being squared. So how can I undo that? I'm going to take the square root of this side, and I'm going to take the square root of this side. And when I take the square root of the left-hand side, I'm going to get an x plus 1. And when I take the square root of the right-hand side, the square root of 64 is two answers, a positive and a -8. Then I'm going to minus 1 from both sides. So I'm going to have a -1. That's going to add and subtract with 8. And you'll see that when I go -1 plus 8, I get the 7. And when I take -1 minus 8, I get the -9. Those are your two answers. I'm going to do kind of that same idea here on this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the 64 over. So I'm going to end up with an x plus 1 squared is equal to 64. And then I'm going to solve it the way I did the other way. I personally would square root both sides and get an x plus 1. Square root the other side and get a positive and a -8. Again, subtract your 1, plus or minus 8. And the two answers I'm going to get, -1 plus 8 is 7. And -1 minus 8 is -9. And those are your two answers. On 48, so let's see. In this particular situation, a delay can occur. Okay, so someone's delivering sandwiches or lunches by bicycle to nearby offices. Sometimes the delivery is made later than promised. A delay can occur either because of the food preparation took too long or because the bicycle rider gets lost. Last month, the food preparation, let me highlight, the food preparation took longer than expected, or the rider got lost 11% of the time. During the same month, the food preparation took longer than expected 18 times, and the bicycle rider got lost 12 times. And the last bit of information, there were 200 deliveries made during the month. For a randomly selected delivery last month, what's the probability that both the food preparation took too long and the rider got lost? Okay, so something to remember is that when there is a formula, because we have the situation where we have an or here. So the probability of, let's say, A or B is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B. Okay, but sometimes there's some overlap, so we have to take off the probability of their intersection, which is probability of A and B. So that's kind of the formula I'm going to use. Now, when I'm talking about A and B, I'm talking about food preparation and the bicycle rider getting lost. Okay, so when I am talking about this probability of A or B, we know that, let me highlight here. I'll highlight it in let me see, I'll do it in red. So we know that the food preparation takes too long. So I'm just trying to get rid of that. The food preparation takes too long, or the bicycle rider gets lost. Okay. Now that can occur right here. Food preparation took longer than expected, or the rider got lost 11% of the time. So this right here was 0.11, 11% of the time. Now during the same month, the food preparation took longer than expected 18 times, and the bicycle rider got lost 12 times. So let's say that A is the food preparation took longer than expected. 18 times out of 200 times the bicycle rider got lost 12 times out of 200 minus the probability of A and B. And that's what I'm trying to solve for. They want to know what is the probability that the food preparation took too long, and that's a key word here, the rider got lost. That's your A and B. So what you're going to do is I would take this and bring it to this side, and I'm going to take this and bring it to this side. So I'm going to basically add probability of A and B. So that's going to be on this side as a positive. And I'm going to keep my 18 out of 200 and my 12 out of 200. And the 0.11, I'm going to minus. And so you're going to do that math in your calculator, and that's going to give you the answer.